Welcome to Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Arael Marrocco. The ACIO has a long history of helping humanity from the deep recesses of time. This is the first time the ACIO has become available to the public, aside from an earlier visitation by their 15th division, the Wingmakers. Peter the Insider, originally from Slovakia, is the director of their 12th division, and Jessica Arael Marrocco is in Cicada 3301, their 6th division. Together, they provide intel, insights on current events, a deeper perspective on aliens and UFOs, super soldier missions with Unit 374 in the Merge, and news relevant for disclosure. Don't forget to subscribe to keep updated with our latest intel and post any questions and comments below.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Disclosures. And so we have more information, and we did say we were going to talk about the new game, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And so we're going to cover some information, and then Peter is going to reflect a little bit on what is actually going on right now in his present mission. And so without further delay, we're going to get right into it and welcome in Peter the Insider. Hello, Peter.
So I want to say hello to you, Jessica, and to all of our regular viewers and the listeners. I mean, not so regular, who knows? So to be perfectly honest with you guys, I'm kind of impressed of what everything is in the game and how actual is the correlation of the game and actual situation. I'm like, I don't know if this is good. I mean, they showed way too much. And maybe so many people will be disappointed, maybe in some sort of disagreement, like, okay, but this took place in Middle East, we know it. I mean, technically we know it's all around the world, but mainly we are talking about Middle East, Iraq, Kuwait, Lebanon, and all kind of that stuff. Operation Desert Storm, aka, I mean, technically Desert Shield previously, and then Desert Storm. Yeah. And the stuff is like, I don't know what the heck should I think about it. Because the timing of the game, I mean, let's say, of the releasing of the game was so well made. Don't know what the heck should I think. Because the chain of events we pretty much been through here, I mean, I hardly believe on coincidences. What do you think? Did they know, or did they knew, and did they travel to the future? They, whoever are the developers / they made script for the game, because it looks like that. No, I don't believe on coincidences. Simply not. No, I don't believe on it.
So this is the Treyarch Raven Software Activision, the company, and the software that was used, produced by Natalie Pohorsky. I'm thinking that that's a Polish name, if you want to correct me.
Yeah, that's Polish.
There's the designers, artists, but the writers, Murray Kraft, Craig Houston, Dan Laufer. And we don't know if that's their real names. That could be a...
Yeah, that's true. They can be. That's the stuff.
AKA agents of some sort that were sharing their intel. And so
From my
then
point of view, that's true, because I'm like, something is not right here. This is definitely not right. And
look at
many
that.
people are saying that this is like Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, let's say, sequel, or let's say some sort of DLC stuff, you know. What is just, by the way, 4 years old game and all kind of that stuff, but doesn't matter. Thing is, how in the world they know so much details, and how in the world they just perfectly timed released the whole game.
Because this is happening right now.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, because so many situations, and there's I said chains of events, they are happening right now. All of it's extremely closely bounded to, let's say, this time period or time era, like, let's say, once Cold War ended and new era of, let's say, relationship or relationships between countries, and many, let's say, new freshly started existing countries happened. Those countries were just starting to exist, especially after Soviet Union collapsed. It's like, oh my God, I don't like it.
Do you want me to read a little bit about it?
If you don't mind, why not? Okay.
So this comes after the one we talked about, the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War of 2020. But this one, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, is set in 1991. Single-player story follows rogue operatives Troy Marshall and Frank Woods as they assemble a team of agents to hunt down Pantheon, a paramilitary group that intends to enact a false flag attack on the United States in order to discredit and replace the deputy director of the CIA. And then it says in the previous Black Ops 6 also includes multiplayer component cooperative with round-based zombie mode. And let's see, I'm trying to get some of the gameplay. And they're explaining how it works. All right, here's the plot. In 1991, amidst the start of Operation Desert Storm, CIA operatives Troy Marshall and William Case Caldron, along with handler Jane Harrow, are deployed to the Iraq-Kuwait border to extract the Iraqi Minister of Defense, Saeed Alawi, and are forced to go off mission when Alawi claims to be targeted by a rogue paramilitary force called Pantheon. After facing Pantheon forces, the team prepares to extract Alawi, but he is executed by Russell Adler, a rogue agent who fled from the CIA after he was framed as a mole for the Nicaraguan drug lord Raul Menendez. Adler allows himself to be captured, telling Marshall to replay a message to fellow operative Frank Woods. Bishop takes Rook. Afterwards, CIA Deputy Director Daniel Livingston reprimands the team for Alawi's death, ignores their warnings about Pantheon, and suspends Woods, Marshall, and Case from duty. So then there's a message that refers to an abandoned KGB safe house in Bulgaria, codenamed the Rook, and the two discovered several years ago and decided to go there with Marshall and Case to investigate Pantheon. Harrow stays behind in the cover for their absence after using Adler's files to recruit ex-Stasi technical genius Felix Newman and assassin Savati Sev Dumas. The team moves to break Adler out of a CIA black site hidden in Washington, D.C., while a political event hosted by Governor Bill Clinton takes place above ground. The team manages to extract Adler just as Pantheon assaults the black site, but they are blamed for the attack instead and are declared fugitives. So it gets messy, right?
Yeah, very messy. Very messy, yeah, that's true.
So then Adler reveals that Pantheon has been engaging in weapon deals with Saddam Hussein and help of MI6 agent Helen Park and allied SAS forces in team assaults one of the Hussein's palaces where they find the cradle, a psychochemical weapon that originated from an abandoned CIA biolab in Kentucky. While Adler stays behind to track down Pantheon's head scientist, Matvey Gusev, Case, Marshall, and Sev investigate the biolab. Case accidentally inhales cradle gas and hallucinates, fighting off a series of undead creatures while hearing a woman's voice explaining that Pantheon was originally created a secret CIA division overseeing Cradle's development as a performance-enhancing drug. With Case being the last test subject before Livingston shut down the project and disbanded Pantheon, when Case regains his senses, the team discovers that Pantheon has already stolen the biolab's stores of Cradle and also find a record revealing that Harrow is working with Pantheon. Using clues in the recording, the team steals financial records from a casino in the resort city of Avalon, which reveal that the casino had been wiring money to Gusev in Iraq. Afterwards, Case and Marshall reunite with Adler and work with his old ally, U.S. Army Captain Lawrence Sims, to capture Gusev, who reveals that Cradle is being stored in Vorkuta. And we find out that that was a military gulag in Russia, right? And so
yeah, that's true. That's true, yeah.
The team raids Vorkuta, and while they're unable to stop the Cradle from being moved, they capture Harrow and bring her to the Rook for interrogation. Adler injects Harrow with truth serum, and they do like an MK Ultra on her.
Yeah, that was nasty. That was nasty.
They found out that Adler killed her parents, or claiming that Adler killed her parents, and that Pantheon is planning to use Cradle to carry out a false flag attack on the Capitol building with the goal of discrediting Livingston and replacing him with Harrow, putting them in control of the CIA. Pantheon forces assault the Rook and rescue Harrow. Case gives chase and boards Harrow's escape. Case gives chase and boards Harrow's escape helicopter, causing it to crash in the river under the influence of released cradle gas. And Case strangles Harrow to death before presuming her to be drowning. Marshall tries to radio Case, explaining that Livingston managed to evacuate the Capitol building and recover the cradle. 2 weeks later, the team meets with Livingston, who asks them to continue working on the independent clandestine unit in order to eradicate Pantheon and its leaders, who are conducting operations in Avalon. Meanwhile, Pantheon operative Jackson Kane infiltrates Livingston's office and accesses his computer. Okay, so Peter, take it from here. Which part do you want to bring up?
I don't know, pretty much, because there are too many ways how to approach the whole situation. You know, what we know is that they want to use / misuse the cradle because they heavily evolved it. And it's not biological, it's next level of biochemical warfare, and they just wanna use it again.
Right.
And we don't know who has it. We know that there is not one sample, multiple samples. We know that there are multiple samples, and that's the problem. That's the problem.
The case, we find out that case is the first one to be used in the experiment. So he's case number 1, right? Case 1.
Yeah.
For the experiment with Cradle to see what would happen, and they found out it made him very violent.
Yeah, it's
Very aggressive.
in the process. It's normal. Let's say they should count with such an option.
Yeah, and then they were afraid to use it on anyone else.
Yeah, but I mean, I am kind of surprised why they are like that, or they were like that, because they simply should count with such an option.
Well, yeah, they should.
They were playing with fire. You know, it's like you got a barrel full of gas. I mean gasoline, and you have a match. What the heck? You know what I mean? It's like, or let's say, I don't want to say gasoline because we know what will happen, but barrel full of some unknown liquid substance. Okay, let's say that way, and you don't know what you will do, how it will end up. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
So it makes a person violent, but also enhanced in their abilities. Are they stronger? Can they fight better?
Of course, they pretty much created the latest generation of super soldiers. But the years, I mean, the dates kind of doesn't match the reality.
Right, because they said that what it was
in 60s. I mean, technically, okay, the facility was open in 1962, and it happened in 1981, and all kind of and on and on. Nope, it happened in what I know, when MK Ultra started, so it was 1951, 1952, something like that. Yeah, because they used on Hero, what is this? They are calling it True Serum. Call it as you like. Another chemical substance, another crap. And this is it. Now it accumulates here, and yeah, I don't like this. We are now in difficult situation. Yeah, not good at all.
So I said to you, well, this is interesting because I reviewed the whole storyline, and
that's true. Yeah.
And I said, I don't see Ghost, who is you, or Jason Hudson, which is me, who was me in the earlier flashback.
I am Case. I am Case.
So wait a minute. And you, all right, so the announcement is that you are Case. So that means Ghost is also Case.
That was my previous call sign. Case. That was my previous call sign.
You were also a Joker, weren't you?
Oh, in the very start, yeah.
So you start off as the Joker, and then, by the way, the movie The Joker came out.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Great, perfect. Yeah.
You're not connected at all to Joaquin Phoenix, are you?
At least. At least.
All right. And so Jason Hudson dies from I think it was one of the drug lords or something like that.
Yes.
Was it Nicaragua?
In Nicaragua, yeah. Kind of hard to pronounce country. Yeah.
And also Jason Hudson was the one that finds out about Pantheon.
Who found out that it was a 6th division of CIA, just by the way. Yeah, they didn't mention the number, but they mentioned in the game that it's like kind of, division of CIA. Yeah, that's correct.
the sixth
Correct.
division of the CIA. So
once they gave you some sort of hallucinogen crap, and you are like, what the heck is going on? And you are tripping, like after drugs, because hallucinogen, or let's say hallucinogen. It's like, that, it's normal. I don't want to say it is normal, but do you know what I'm trying to say? It's part of the things, you know.
well, this explains, like I said, my life from 1980, I want to say 83 to about 1990. This right here explains my life.
Give me a second. It's normal.
And I did consider joining the military when I was in high school. I did, and it did cross my mind.
Interesting.
It was a job, well, then they hooked me into this Pantheon group, which is also,
Yeah, because it's pretty much like, who the heck is Pantheon? It is you, it is me. Who? I mean, that was the question. Who is / was feeding them with intel? It's kind of, you know, I'm just saying.
and the player role is Case, so you don't really see Case a lot, but you're actually
only like 2-3 times for a few seconds. That's true.
right.
Because Case is Ghost.
Right, but also everyone has the opportunity to be Case, right? When
Yeah.
they play. That's
Yeah, you are right.
the gamer position. There's a lot of stuff here.
So I mean, the game is genial. It's fine. It's great. But the problem is the stories. Oh my! It released too much for, or revealed too much for my taste.
Because things are happening now. Like, why now?
My actual mission being stuck here because of crap I don't even I don't want. And if I mean, technically I want to talk, but I simply cannot. And those crappy people, they just let's say they showed too much in the game. And I'm like, why in the world?
They did. They went over a lot of the characters, especially those that were reviewing it. And we're going to have some links from those, the people that, maybe I can find it.
But that's the problem. Give me a sec. That's really big problem, because I hate that. I mean it for real. I hate that.
This guy right here from Ink Slasher does a fantastic job reviewing everything. This is Jane right here, I believe, and she's.
Yeah, give me a second. Stop. This what we can see. This is him, aka Case, tripping. I mean, being under influence of this crap, Cradle.
Yeah.
Calling it Cradle. And the second video is give me a second. Yes, this is the second video. Yeah.
This is the second video that you gave me another one to look at.
But technically the first video is very good. The first video is not actually, it's not good. It's great technically.
There's quite a few characters here. And you said that Anthony Zender is
Troy Marshall. Troy
Marshall. Yep. Case's name is William Case Cauldron, right?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
And
yeah, what's the situation here? I don't quite understand.
No, I'm just going over some of the names.
Okay.
In the video, they say that the Case is also Bell, but supposedly Bell got killed. Adler brings him into the CIA, but eventually shoots him in 1981. But then they also say something about 1976. Bell was shot.
That's correct.
But he doesn't. Obviously, they bring him back in another form, or he doesn't die. I don't know how they're doing that. There's other things around this too. So I remember that war, right? the war that it was involved in. But now are they doing like a they're repeating it? Essentially, is there like a loop of some sort, or?
Yeah, time loop all the time.
Yep. No, I know that there's time loops. That's we shouldn't be in the Cold War right now.
Hey, but give me a second, aren't we?
We are connected to it.
And try to guess why 2 years. Okay, 2.5 years. Because it's this 10%-ish stuff.
Yep. I was also looking at Livingston, and he is played by Lou Diamond Phillips, which made me wonder if he was connected to Michael, who's on Unit 374.
Yeah, I know.
Am I correct, or Daniel Livingstone?
That's the question. Who is Livingstone?
You're not really can't really say if it's.
I mean, technically, I know who is Livingstone, but it's still secret.
Okay, so we're not supposed to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us all right, so do you have any recall of what happened when you were brought into Pantheon, and then they put you on the drug, and then do you remember?
Okay, I was tripping. Okay, I was tripping.
Yeah, it creates hallucinatory effects, right?
This is exactly what I want to say. I was tripping.
This is a cradle we're talking about. You were called Case 1, Experiment Super Soldier, and they wanted to weaponize you. And
they did, just by the way.
Right?
They did, just by the way.
Yeah, and then you kind of had to attack. What is all this stuff that you had to attack? There were zombies. Where did they all come from? Are these all experiments and mannequins and?
Oh, no, please don't even talk about mannequins. I hate mannequins. Jesus Christ.
They are creepy. I was telling you earlier that I've been seeing mannequins for quite a while now, and I have some friends that would verify that.
Mannequins. Okay, guys, it's officially out. All of our viewers and listeners. Great. It's officially out. I hate mannequins. Great.
Well,
sorry.
like you shot them, a whole bunch of them, and there were zombies.
Oh, give me a second. Hands up. Who likes mannequins? Go to the comment section, people. Who likes mannequins? No, you are laughing. This is unfair. This is unfair, okay?
We get another phone call.
Yep, so you kind of see, I mean, I probably can't run much of this without getting in trouble. They have these orange phones.
Don't play it. We will go to the trouble because of copyright crap.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. But
oh my god, that was such a crap. I mean, I hate mannequins. I hate mannequins.
Look at that. This is what that looks like. Ghost to me.
Yeah, that's me. So I was, just by the way, okay, I was fighting myself. Great. Because I was tripping.
Yeah, you were tripping from Cradle.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, there's a lot going on here. And then, do you remember any of this? Do you remember you said that you went through a lot as a child? They pulled you in at a very young age, and which made you go into the military and try to.
Yeah, that was absolutely, that was next level crap. That's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Can you talk about it? Do you want to talk a little bit about how you got involved?
Don't know. Pretty much, I was like, I always had the weird visions, you know, and I wasn't able to understand what was like, what was true, what wasn't true, and all kind of that stuff. And then I was like, yeah, yeah. And then what I remember, I was like 3, 4 years old, and I ended up in some sort of facility. All the scientists in white clothing all around and all kind of that stuff. Jeez, I hate that.
Like a my lab of some sort.
Yeah, some sort of. And they were both of them. I mean, both groups. First ones, they were talking about the things, because I was able to speak many languages once I was, and time-wise, it absolutely doesn't make any sense. Just by the way, you know. And I was able to speak English and Russian. I was like, okay, this is in Cyrillic, this is in Latin. Too many pages. It was like books written and written and written and written, and I was like, what the heck is that? It doesn't make sense. And they were making crazy crap, just by the way.
So you already, when you were young, was it from an implant or something that enhanced you to be able to pick up languages quickly, or you
Yes,
literally?
yes. That's the reason why I can speak. I mean, yeah, I know I cannot speak any sort of language perfectly. It's far from perfect, but that's, I don't want to say yes or no, but that may be or might be the reason why I can speak 15 languages.
Well, let me explain why I think this is relevant, because you're talking about the soldiers here, right? Now, I'm not proficient in any of these languages, and I didn't have that ability, but we're looking at Bulgaria, Munich, Iran, Iraq, Kentucky,
Now I understand what you
and
are.
Russia. So these are all the different languages that a person would need to speak, because
But
these
I'm
were
gonna say you something. Mostly, in most cases, in the process, aka during the mission, you will find someone who will perfectly speak. And this is important, okay, and for you, basic is to understand. And you can just speak the basics. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
The ones that are spying, those are the ones that are very, very good at languages. Like,
I am not spy, but I know many spies. They are polyglots, aka people they can speak goddamn crazy good, so many languages, and I'm talking like literally 10, 12, maybe even more languages, and you literally will not, or you cannot tell the difference between them and native speakers. Nope.
right. And I've seen, like they've shown spies from different countries in the US, and they really, I mean, really speak English very well. I was looking at the Skarsgård family, like Stellan Skarsgård, Alexander, and Bill Skarsgård, and have done really well in Hollywood or movies. Their English sometimes is amazing. You would never know they grew up in Sweden. So,
but give me a second. But in Sweden, it is the second language. It's second. I mean, my bad. Second official language. English in Sweden is the second official language. You need to know English in Sweden. You need to, okay? is the second official language. I am not kidding you.
There's one thing having a second language. There's another thing sounding like an American. It's different. It's different. You would pick up a little bit of an accent or something, and they don't. Bill in particular really sounded like an American, and some of his.
Okay. Now it makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to tell exactly one thing. Okay, exactly one thing. Especially here in Middle East, they don't know what is peace. What is to stay quiet or something like that. Because, for example, and not only in Afghanistan, there is Pashtun. Pashtun, it's, I don't want to say it's one of the official languages in Afghanistan, but it's like in Pashtun or in Farsi, what is official language in Iran or in Arabic. If you will say peace, quiet, or something like that, they will look at you like something like, ah? It will be because the word exists, okay? But for them, it's not such a crap as if you will talk about, or if you want to start to talk about snow, you know, in that kind of region, it's kind of lack of sense, you know. It's like, for example, Inuits in Alaska, you will say snow, and they are looking at you, hey, what is that? They've got like 30, 40, 50 terms for certain type of snow, but they don't know word snow. Absolutely the same case for nomads living in Sahara region, for example, in Africa. But long story short, screw that. The thing is, they don't know how to handle, or let's say properly handle the situation. And what is the situation? Look, there is huge fire. I mean, not fire, but it's normal situation. There is a feast or something like that in the middle of a village or in the middle of town. They are celebrating, right? And just right like that, they hit the switch. They start to fight each other. They start to throw things at each other. They start yelling and everything. And I was like, once I experienced this first time, it was absolutely crazy. And first few times I was like, yeah. And for them, it is normal. It's kind of crazy.
I want to ask you, because they talk about weaponizing Cradle. Now, is that some of the stuff that you were concerned about while you've been in the mission? Is this something that is manifesting?
Yes, it is manifesting right here, right now, and I even don't want to, let's say, spread the panic, but I'm like, this is not gonna end well.
No, that's
why I
bring that up.
This will start heavily to spread, because we saw first stage in V4 region, Czech, Slovak Republic, Poland, Hungary, Austria, and they don't want to talk about it, how many people died. Don't ask me why. Well, I don't know why. I don't know why.
There are articles, I got corrected by somebody, by Super Sleuth. She said that there were quite a few articles talking about how people had died and the damages that were caused by the flooding in that region.
Yeah, but give me a second. That's true. But what I am saying is how many people died, and why in the world American FEMA showed up with their quotes in quotes clean up friends. You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't make any sense, but everything is.
They created pocket reality, if we want to call it that way.
So that means the United States is in some way over there?
Yes or no, because technically, look, it is like CIA is different, completely different from US. It is pretty much like FSB, what is pretty much absolutely the same as KGB, but new name, new letters for KGB in Russia. You know, they were independent because despite political party or political regime in former Soviet Union, they believe, or let's say they believed at that time, that they had KGB under control. Nah, forget that. Nope, it is not, or it wasn't the case. And the same stuff with FSB and Russia, and absolutely the same stuff with, for example, okay, with CIA and US, or for example, another MI5/MI6. You know what I mean? And UK. They are independent. They looks like, yeah, right here, right now, and you know, MI6, it's completely nah, because technically, okay, MI6 is something like CIA in UK, okay, and
Yeah.
MI5 is something like NSA, pretty much, just in order to be more precise.
Peter, the reason why because you were talking about the floods in that region now, and
Yeah.
Spain just had major floods. So this is what it looks like. I mean, that's talk about crazy, right? They're
Yeah.
calling it apocalypse. You know, that looks that
Give
bad.
me a second. Doesn't it look like that?
That apocalypse looking? Yes, it is. So what happened here? Is this also a time anomaly or what's going on?
Okay. Can you ask me easier question? But from my point of view, it's the next evolveness of Cradle. Who the heck knows how they are calling it right now?
So when we were traveling over to Slovakia, the cradle was unleashed as well as
Yes,
the
but
umbrella corp.
that's the question actually. We don't know which kind of level of, you know, it's like it was level, or I don't want to say level, but version, like V as a version, okay, 1.2. We don't know which kind of version they used. But what we know for sure, that they want to use latest generation here, and it will be a death toll, like pure death toll. It will be like, yeah, bad news bears.
All right, so since we're talking about this, and you know, I know a lot of people would love to talk to you about Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is definitely heavily military. You've always told me I'm not really military, but every time I turn around, there's something military I'm doing. Since we're talking about it,
Just by the way, that is the reason why I am starting my military-focused YouTube channel.
Yep. So that's coming up soon, and we're going to talk a little bit about the name and everything. But
a little bit, please, not a little bit.
Give people a heads up, because you decided that we're going to continue doing the disclosure shows here on my channel and talking about current events, but there's going to be a very focused point of view of military only on your channel. You're starting a channel just to focus on the military and operations and different things, right?
Yes, that's correct. We properly set it up the Patreon too, because there will be extra content from various different reasons. First things first, there are things we simply cannot talk about on YouTube.
All right. So yeah, that's coming up, and we'll just keep everyone updated. And it has something to do with your connection to your call sign, which was Ghost.
Yeah, that will be absolutely crazy, Jason.
Yeah, but you're also Case. So we're bringing forward the idea that you're also involved with this character called Case.
Yeah, correct.
Which is kind of a mystery, but he's also the player that people use and see through his eyes through the game. And a lot of people have been fascinated with the Ghost character. They use it in YouTube channels and so forth. So wanted to differentiate you from those people. That you're you're the actual one. And the best way to do that is well, I mean, we'll talk about that later. So I know that you're excited about it, and it's going to be a lot of work, but it's something that means a lot to you.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm happy for you. And so, we'll see how it all opens up. And there are people that just really love talking about military and have a connection to it, have recalls, involvement in it. And so that's where it becomes very interesting.
Yeah, that's it. You are definitely right.
Yeah. It relates a lot to, like I said, I could see that in the 1980s, it actually, my life, I got pulled away from where I lived. I was in the Midwest, and it didn't make any sense at all. I was feeling isolated and kind of like a fish out of water. I didn't quite feel like I belonged there. And then I met my ex-husband, and his name was Russell. So we're trying to piece it together. The fact that he had a military background and was stationed in possibly Munich. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Munich, as military police, but he was an American soldier. And I felt like he handled me, like I was there for quite, like we ended up getting married and we got divorced after 7 years. But I felt like he tried to use tactics and MK Ultra and some form of mind control, sleep deprivation, and some other tactics. And it took me a long time to try to figure out what was going on. Like, not what was going on at the time. I knew I needed to get away. That was my reaction. But recognizing that this actually happened. So, I was kind of on my own at the age of around 19 and trying to figure out what I wanted out of life, and it ended up in the Midwest. But I really feel like that was directed. That was directed.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, just by the way.
Yeah. And since I started doing radio, I've been approached by multiple people with military background wanting to talk to me or be on a show or inviting me on their show. And it's been going on for years. But even before I met you, it was happening. So they had some plans for me or it's a bleed through of what I was already doing.
Man, that's crazy.
Then you find all the enemies that you made in those other scenarios. And that's the part that's a little, uncomfortable, right? That's how they control, I think, some of the assets. They have them kind of against each other so that
that's correct.
Get too close. They can't be too connected, and that they control them better and isolate them a little bit so that they distrust everyone and that they can, control each individual. Right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm trying to see if there's any some other things. I mean, if we're very focused on this, I probably wouldn't bring up anything else other than I know that people are concerned about what's going to happen. And
yeah, I think we are good. What do you think?
Yeah.
Huh?
I think so too, and I think, but this is also, the bleed-throughs are affecting what's happening even in the elections, because this is based out of Kentucky, and
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. That's correct.
ironically, I had someone ask me just recently if I had ever been to Kentucky, and it was a random person. It was kind of weird. Yeah.
Give me a second. No.
So I've driven through there. I never really spent time there years ago. So I know that, you know, as we're going through this and trying to figure out, like you said, that they reveal too much information in this video game about what's happening, and also that it sort of is manifesting in a way over here.
Yeah, that's very correct.
Yeah. So you think that is there anything else that you want to say before we?
From this point of view, I think it's fine.
Okay.
What do you think? Huh?
Well, thank you for being on the show, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully it balances out some way, as it usually does. We find a resolve or a solution to some of these things.
Yeah. I believe that we can be fine at least. What do you think, huh?
Yeah, I hope so. And yeah, this is still, like I said, you know, if you have the shadow group moving around and you have this going on at the same time, it's quite a bit. There's a lot going on.
That's true. Very true.
Okay. So, well, thank you again for being on the show.
Very much for giving me another opportunity to be on your channel, and till next time, hold tight, stay safe, and bye-bye.
And thank you everyone for listening, and thank you for your support, and we continue to, you know, support you, to leave comments, ask questions, and thank you for those that are reaching out to help us in any way. I appreciate you. Have a good day.
You have been watching Disclosures. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Visit www.acio-official.org and www.readingsbyarael.com to book a private session with Jessica. Feel free to support our work. All links can be found in the description. Thank you, and until next time.